Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another Kim and the Crease podcast. My name is Kim, also known as Isles Girl 3. And we got a lot to talk about today. I thought it couldn't get worse. It got worse. Yeah, it's struggling to be an Islanders fan nowadays. I mean, it's been a steady decline via December, and now in January, I think the Islanders have truly hit rock bottom. I don't know if it's all just due to this team's setup, the age. There's so many problems going along, and nothing's being done to fix them. Ever. So we gotta go in here. We gotta fix things, and I think we have to wait a year for that, Islanders fans. I think we're going to have to wait a year. So we'll get into that. We'll also be getting into the Bruce There It Is news. Canucks, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. But Jackson says, hey, it's my favorite hockey YouTuber. Oh, thanks, Jackson. And he goes, love your top. We're gonna talk about this top. Clutterbuck is a glass man. Look at his age. Look how, and especially with his game being so physical, I'm not expecting Clutterbuck to be every single game. What I want to talk about, too, on top of that, if you're talking about injuries, why have Palmieri and Pellick been skating for weeks and not gone into the lineup? Hi, Jordan. But that's another issue I want to get upon. Why have they been skating for weeks and that we don't feel like they're good enough to go? What is holding them back? It's more questions that we're not getting answers for. But if we're going to go into it, this past week I said 1 for 4. We went 0 for 4. With a lucky 2 points picked up because we went to OT twice. Washington, we should have won. We lost 4-3 in freaking OT with, a minute left in the OT. Boston was an easy loss. So I saw coming. I said we possibly could have beaten Buffalo. We possibly could. We could have. And then we lost in OT. You guys got to see my physical pain on stream if you guys were streaming with me Thursday against the Buffalo Sabres. That was a lot of more physical pain. And then yesterday against the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm going to be talking about their play, some things I haven't been happy with, maybe players who haven't been necessarily stepping up, things like that. And then we're going to go into this week, breakdowns, players, everything. We're going to be breaking it all down. Something's wrong. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Joseph. But yeah, it's been a tough week for the New York Islanders. It's been a tough week for fans in general. It's interesting, though. I feel like this is a time where true fans come out. Who are the fans that are still coming to games? Who are the fans? I feel like I understand for some people taking a mental break, because some fans take it very, very seriously, the games, that it really affects their mental health, seeing a team you love so much not do so great. So I can understand maybe taking a break from watching games. I can understand that. Just, the fans who are saying, I'm done with this organization, I'm never coming to games anymore, bye-bye. See you later. I can understand, I guess, you don't love the Islanders when they're not playing that well. I understand what fan you are. Just saying. Nothing's going to make me stop supporting this team. Even if we're at 32nd in the NHL. That's not going to make me stop loving them. So when I see stuff like that online, I'm like, okay, bye-bye. It's an overreaction, absolutely. Jordan says people overreact. I really think it's an overreaction. If you want to stop supporting the team, that's your prerogative. Go and, join the bandwagon somewhere else. It's not my choice, but do whatever you want to do. But I think this is where you start to see who your true fans are, where they come out, and it's an interesting turnaround there. But I always say this, and I always will. If you do not support your team at the lowest of lows, you cannot truly appreciate when they are at their highest of highs. And it just makes it that much more sweet. And you will never truly experience what it means to win a Stanley Cup or playoff success or anything like that. You will never truly appreciate those things when you give up on a team. So little things like that. 123 says, hi Kim, best wishes from Germany. Hello Germany! Let's go! I'm in the UBS Arena at the Kraken game in a few weeks. I hope to see you, Thomas. Oh, wow. That's amazing, Thomas. That's so cool. You're coming down to see us versus the Kraken. I hope you enjoy UBS. Thank you for coming through to the stream, and I hope you enjoy it over here. That's amazing. I got German blood in me too, so. Thomas says, I've not been to one game this year. I can understand, too, people, not being able to afford it. Tickets have gotten more expensive for the Islanders, which I found very crazy. Upper concourse seats used to be $12. Now they're $71. It's a whole different thing. It's not as expensive as the Rangers. Nothing's going to be as expensive as Rangers. But it's still, when you looked at what our ticket prices were, crazy. Whew. I got COVID after going to a game last year in 103. I'm scared a little. Thomas, that's okay. I understand being, nervous, but you can't be nervous of germs all your life. Just come have fun. If I'm to say anything, when I had COVID, I felt like I had a lot of reflection last night of just like the reasons I love being a New York Islanders fan. I had a lot of reflection. And when I had COVID, and the first thing was we were on a long away slot, like we were away for like a week and a half, and then I got COVID, so I wasn't able to watch the Islanders at home for 2.5-3 weeks, and the first game I was able to come back after my isolation. I walking around the rink, and I don't know, I felt a little downtrodden personally. You're coming back after sickness that it's a tough sickness. You haven't been able to watch this team, they're not doing as great. I was just walking around, and honestly, walking around the arena, people who stopped to say hi, to, just talking with people in general about hockey, just making those connections again. I remember standing there and just thinking to myself, wow, I miss this. Like, it just felt like home. It felt like such home to me. To be able to talk to other fans, other Islanders fans who love this team just as much, to just take the time out of their day to stop and just say hi to you. It makes me just reinvigorate that love for this fan base, this love for this team, and everyone on the concourse who stops to say hi, thank you. Because it makes my day. It really does make your day. Empire State says, hey Kim, I'm surprised you're on. Yeah, earlier today, I have a shift tonight. As you guys know, I work night shifts, so I have to do it early today. Thomas Boyle, okay, season ticket holders are not renewing. Okay, bye-bye. That's their choice and prerogative. With success, there's going to come more season ticket holders. Oh my god, that became one word. When they're not succeeding, that's going to happen. Like, it's business in general. When something's doing well, they're going to sell tickets. When they're not going to sell tickets. That's the business in general. So I'm not shocked to see season ticket holders aren't renewing, all that stuff. But with this team, kind of maybe bad news today. What is happening with Noah Dobson? So, unofficial news today from Stefan Rosner that Samuel Bolduc has been called up. What does this mean, pray tell? That someone else is hurt. And everyone is speculating it could be possibly Noah Dobson. We need another injury, like a hole in the head. That could be very detrimental to the Islanders. Losing another key defenseman. That could be very bad. This is unofficial news. Someone said maybe it's Mayfield. It could very well be Mayfield. But again, losing a core defenseman. No bueno. It's another stab in our side, losing all of these players. We're basically turning into the Bridgeport Islanders again. We got Ratu up again. We have Wotherspoon. We have Chalowski. I'm still calling Aho Bridgeport. The way he plays. By the way, that go-ahead goal for Carolina, off Aho skate. Yep. We still, Ratu is still up. Dufour didn't. Can we just talk about Dufour for a second? How they didn't even. Lane Lambert pulled such a Barry Trotz. It hurt. Lane Lambert pulled such a Barry Trotz. Like, the kid made one mistake and was benched for the rest of the game. Like, that's just brutal. I guess you're trying to set a precedent, but benching him for the rest of the damn game? 6 minutes. 6 minutes of total end time. Are you kidding me? I know, listen to me. Personally, I think he's still young. I think he's, we got to see him this much of the game, but I think he still needs development time. They wanted to try him out, see what he can do. I think he still needs development time. Fine. That's fine. But to bench him the entire rest of the game for one giveaway, while Barzell, as much as I love him, gives like 20 giveaways a game, I don't know. I don't know about that. He's young, absolutely. But to bench him for one mistake is a little ridiculous. Well, you could say the same Empire State about Dobson. Listen, as much as I love Dobson, you can talk about players not stepping up and producing. One of those players is Noah Dobson. We've been seeing a struggling with him offensively. But again, he is a defenseman. I like a lot of people riding on Noah Dobson not stepping up offensively. And I'm like, you do know, but his main position is defense. And honestly, when you look at Noah Dobson defensively, offensively, I think he does a fantastic job. Saves it at the blue line, puts shots towards the net that can possibly be redirected in. I think he does a fantastic job at that. But Noah Dobson, defensively, I don't know if it's as sound, but he is one of our most sound defensemen. He's caught in a limbo right now, so fans aren't happy because he's not producing points. I think fans are just pissed that everyone's not producing points. So it's been tough. And you look at this lineup on my shirt that I wanted to talk about. Crease, I think he's been doing a fantastic job, always putting in 100%. Again, not really producing points. Nelson, finally producing points as of late. I think he's been fine. I think Nelson's been good. Lee, so. He crashes the net. That's the thing I love about Anders Lee, but Barzell, again, always struggling points-wise. He's more the playmaker, not really the goal scorer. And his giveaways has been hurting lately. Romanov, honestly, I've been loving Romanov. I'm going to put it out there. I've been loving Romanov, and he's put something out there that the Islanders have lost. And I think that's a little bit of muscle. Yes, you have Ross Johnston. But if you're talking about sticking up for your teammates, that is something the Islanders have been lacking as of late, and that's something the Islanders have always done, is been there for each other, been there for their teammates, been there that you're not going to push us around. That is something that we've always done. As I've grown up, we've always held that motto. 2011, Penguins, Islanders. Great example. But as of late, that hit from Ovechkin, nothing's been done about it. And it makes us feel soft. It puts out the reputation we are soft, and we will just take it and end up losing the game because of it. It makes us feel soft. And so when you see someone like Romanov, Mayfield gets hit on the ground after a play, and Romanov comes and goes, we're not going to take that shit, and gives it right back. It just makes you feel good, that someone is there sticking up for his teammates, his line mates, and shows he cares. That's what I love about Romanov. I've honestly been pretty happy with his play. So I'm a Romanov fan. Dobson, I just talked about him. Palmieri, gone. I think one of the reasons, and Palmieri was putting up a lot of points. I'm going to say when he was playing early in the season, he was putting up points for us. I've been missing Palmieri. I'm going to put it out there. I have been missing Palmieri. I do miss him. Just for him to come back and then take that horrible hit is so unlucky and just so... Was he targeted? I don't think so, but it hurts. It feels like he was targeted, honestly, in a weird sort of way, just because... he just came back from concussion, now he's back on it. It's been tough with Palmieri. I honestly miss the palm tree. I'm going to be honest. I miss the palm tree. I guess Sorokin, there's nothing wrong to be said about Sorokin. And now All-Star. Now voted in as All-Star. Really happy about that. He's going to be with his bestie Shesterkin. I'm just sad Romanov can't third wheel them. But honestly, it's nice to see those two going to an All-Star game when I feel like they should have been. And then Wahlstrom, indefinitely out. Unknown injury, but he is indefinitely out. So we're not going to... I don't know if we're going to see Wahlstrom for the rest of the season. It's tough. It's been tough. You know, some of these names that are on here, and then they're not here anymore. And what is going on with Wally? Serious injury? Yes, it has to be a serious injury if he's out indefinitely. Obviously, we're not going to know the bleakness of his injuries, but I don't know if we're going to see him for the rest of the season. Do you know what play he was injured on? Not offhand. No. Not offhand. So it's been tough ride for the New York Islanders. Obviously, we said before the season we needed people. And one thing I'm going to say, watching last night, was we need people who can finish. There's too many opportunities that the Islanders miss that should be capitalized on. I get missing an opportunity here and there to score goals and like great opportunities, but the Islanders have consistently had capitalizing opportunities, 2-on-1s, one-on-ones, or just empty nets, you know, rebounds in front of the net, empty net opportunities that always should be capitalized on, and good teams always take advantage of. And the Islanders consistently miss it. Always. Every time there's a beautiful chance in front of the net, 2-on-1s, everything, the Islanders consistently miss the capitalize. And that's what's really hurting them. These opportunities right there that we can take leads, or we can tie games, or just give us a sound, bundle in front of a team. We never can get them, and then that gives the other team the best opportunity to come back and win games, as we've seen this past week. And I don't know what's with... We have a cap hit. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about goals. The Islanders were unable to score more than 2 goals this past week. Hold on. We were unable to score more than 2 goals except for the Washington game. I even told my friend, I said, when's the last time we scored 3 goals or more? The last time we scored 3 goals or more was against Washington. And before that was against the New York Rangers. And that was on December 22nd. Other than that, it's been 1 goal. Hold on, sorry, Carolina was 2. Buffalo was 2. Boston was 1. Montreal, we won with 2 goals, luckily. Minnesota was 1. Dallas was 1. Calgary was 1. Edmonton was 2. Vancouver, okay. We did get 6 against Vancouver. We had 1 beautiful moment. Seattle was 1. Columbus, we won with 2. Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh was the last beautiful game I think we played. But do you see a pattern here? 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 1-2. It's like I'm coding here. It's like the Islanders are doing some coding over here. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. That's Vancouver, though. And the games we won, Montreal, Vancouver, and we'll get to Vancouver later, guys. But 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Like, why do we have a goal cap? Is it, the best we can do is 2 and then we get complacent? Or is it, it's hard, too, because it's like, I understand, and I thought Shannon brought up a great point the other night. If the Islanders knew what they were doing wrong, they would fix it. I'm 100% sure. I think every team wishes that, I wish there was a sound answer to why some teams aren't doing great and why teams are doing great. I wish there was a sound answer, and there's always not 100% a sound answer, and that's the hardest part about it. But and I feel for Barzell. Barzell talked about inconsistency and chemistry of line mates. And I understand that completely. And I talked about this last season, if you guys remember. I talked about this last season. And I said it was a big problem. How there's no possible way the players on the team can gain any chemistry for lines. And I said that was a big Pageau problem. Because he got no consistent players on his line. Every night he was playing with new people, and there was no way you can gain chemistry. Chemistry is a big, important part to the game. You talk about Trache, talking about him and Mike Bossy, and he said, I just had to throw the puck out there, and I knew where he was going to be. And that's how we created so many goals and opportunities, because they had chemistry. And that's something that has not been able to be cooked down since Lane just keeps flipping lines however he wants. Yes, something's not working, but then we also have the problem that there's no chemistry with him either. You know, how do you produce, and how many times do you see the Islanders throw the puck and just hope to God someone gets it? I've talked about this problem before. How many times the Islanders throw the puck and hope to God there's someone there? No chemistry. No chemistry to know, yes, I know someone will be there to pick up the puck. I can throw it out here. You know, we can do 1, 2, 3 and get this up out of the zone. We throw it against the boards. We hope to God someone's there to collect it. If not, we're playing defense again. And it's a consistent problem for them. Consistent. It's been brutal, and I don't know what the Islanders need to do to fix this. I mean, yes, you can trade for a player, but trading for one offenseman will not fix this team's issues entirely. It never will. One player will not fix a whole entire structure. That's a big problem, is that I think the Islanders are lacking structure. Maybe it's time to just sell and fix this team. If it's McDavid, it would fix your offense. Even Connor McDavid, I don't think would fix this. I mean, if Connor McDavid could fix a whole team, the Oilers would be Stanley Cup winners. Just saying. But it's time to the point maybe we look towards just revamping the whole team. Because I think our window is this big at this point. But with this ending contract of Lou, it's time for Lou to go. I just feel like we're not getting that. You know, Bill Torrey built this team. He made the chemistries. He found where we were lacking, and he built upon that. When is the last time we've had a sound GM to do that? Bill Torrey. It's as simple as that. You don't have a GM to help, fix the open wounds on your team. They're never gonna get fixed. We have no prospects. We have no shooting. Everything's an issue. It's time to move and progress. Should we hire Bruce? Oh my God, help me today with speaking, guys. Bruce, there it is. But yeah, let's get into the Islanders next week, and I'll get into Bruce. Okay, so this week, 4 games. Toronto. It's going to be tomorrow. Wednesday, Ottawa. Friday, Saturday are back-to-backs, Detroit Red Wings and Vegas Golden Knights. And then we are going to be going into the All-Star weekend. So I will be having another Kim in the Crease this next Sunday, going through that past week. That Sunday after, I'm going to be off for the week. There's nothing really to talk about except the All-Star game. Honestly, just enjoy, I can't talk about Islanders hockey. There's nothing to really talk about. So, if anything should happen, like say anything big breaking happen, I'll make a tiny video about it. But yeah, these next 4 games are crucial. Just absolutely crucial. Guys, we've won 2 games this month. 2. Do you want to know how many we played in total? How many games we played in total? We played 11 games. We've won 2 out of 11. With luckily some OTs in there to throw 2 extra points in. But we've won 2 out of 11 with 2 extra points thrown in. Unacceptable. That is completely unacceptable. And this week, if we don't win a game, we're done. Yeah, 2-7-2. 2. I think it's 2-9-2. We're 2-9-2 this month. Not 2-7-2. 2-9-2. That's brutal. But yeah. Still above 500 somehow. I don't know how. Really don't. It's a lot of red. It's a lot of red. So we gotta fix that this week. And now with Dobson out, it's just looking worse and worse. Possibly Dobson, possibly Mayfield, possibly Dobson. They showed also the Islanders and Rangers are having the Alumni Classic today. Both teams are playing each other for fun with Northwell Health. And they showed Johnny Boychuk on the ice, and I went, "Can he pull a Tom Brady and come out of retirement, please? We need him." We need Johnny Rocket back so bad. And I want to share this with you guys because obviously they did a big signing yesterday for season ticket holders that are renewing. A lot of alumni were there. Not so much 2000s to 2010s alumni. A lot of 90s and 80s alumni. But Johnny Boychuk was there. If you guys remember my Johnny Boychuk video when he retired, you know how much I love Johnny Boychuk. You guys know how much I love Johnny Boychuk. And the biggest reason that he means so much to my heart is partially due to my grandmother. My grandmother was his biggest fan. She was the biggest Johnny Boychuk fan. She showed me Johnny Boychuk and watched him when he played on the Bruins. So she was like, she loved Johnny. And so with her passing this last year, it meant a lot to finally go up and meet Johnny Boychuk. And I was able to tell him how much my grandma loved him. And how much we bonded over watching him play. And how it just was the greatest gift, seeing him become a New York Islander. And to still stick around with this organization after his retirement. So it was really meaningful. And I finally got my Johnny Boychuk jersey signed. That's been unsigned for a few years now. And I know my grandma was with me. I know she was with me. Probably gushing over Johnny. So, it meant a lot to finally have the opportunity to say hi to him. And tell him how much, as a family, we loved watching him play. The first thing my grandma asked for, my grandma never wanted anything. My grandma was a person who never ever wanted. She always would say, "What do you want?" You know, she would always get for others. She was a gifter, not a receiver. And I think it's the first time in my life I ever heard her say, I want a Johnny Boychuk jersey. I need a Johnny Boychuk jersey. Can someone please get me a Johnny Boychuk jersey? That's the only thing I think I've ever heard her want in her life. So that meant a lot. So here's me and Johnny. If my phone could. It's me and Johnny. He was this. Of course, he's the sweetest person on the damn planet. Come on. And I as a funny thing, just to make myself laugh, because I needed to laugh at that moment, because I was like really emotional, and I said, please say hi to Chara for me. And so he laughed and he goes, I can do that. As you guys know how much I love Zdeno Chara. He goes, I feel ya. My mom 2 years ago, this February 15th passed. She was a big Islanders fan. And exactly, Empire. It's exactly like that, where continuing to love and bring the passion they brought to the team feels like you're keeping them alive. It absolutely feels like you're just keeping their passions and keeping them alive every time that you root for the team together like you used to together. And I think that's very special. I'm sorry for your loss, Empire State. I'm very, very sorry for your loss. But no, every time you cheer and every time, you give the passion that you brought together, she's still with you cheering. But that's how I feel every time with my grandmother and just going to games, because she was my biggest supporter. That's why I do what I do. Why I keep doing podcasting. Why I keep, doing the lipstick. Why do I, go all out for games? Because my grandma was my biggest supporter, and I feel like I'm keeping her alive every time I do with cheering for this team, like how she taught me. Pray to help this team. Trust me, Empire, I'm praying too. I'm giving it up there going, can you somehow help us? Give us a miracle down here. We need it. Give us the miracle. Maybe if we all pray hard enough. But yeah, it's just a special moment. One thing I've learned over the years, especially being online, everyone's gonna judge you. And this is a message to everybody. Everyone's gonna judge you. But if you're happy in your skin, if you're happy doing what you're doing, who gives a shit what other people think about what you do and your loves and your passions? Who gives a damn flying leap what makes you happy? The Islanders make me happy. Dressing up for games, going and just being a crazy person in the seats makes me happy. I love supporting this team. The passion brings me happiness. It brings me family. And if that's what hockey and any team that you support makes you do, anyone else telling you otherwise means nothing. Love what you do. And no one else's opinion will ever matter. Ever. No one else's words, no one else's anything. You do you. And I know, I'm sorry if I'm sounding very cliche, but I really believe in that. No one else should tell you otherwise. The only opinions that should matter are those of your close loved ones and your family. Your friends, keep them close. Friends should uplift one another. Friends should be there to give you happiness, to uplift you. We should be able to support one another. That's what true friends are. And if, I'm at a point in my life, where I feel whole with family, with loved ones, with friends, because we're there to uplift one another and make each other happy. And that's what it should be. That's what hockey should be all about. Yes, the Islanders aren't doing great. And yeah, it sometimes sucks to see them lose. I mean, you guys see my pain after games. But it doesn't last forever. because I still love this team no matter what. If it's not this year, we hope for the next. I, luckily have plenty of years left in my life, and I always will have hope every single goddamn year. And that's the end of it. And Prince Chicken Wings, it is what it is. Just hoping for a push. We hope for them to wake up, but it is what it is. Also, for my 2000s Islanders fans, Radek Martinek. Freaking GOAT. Man, he still looks the same to me, Radek Martinek. He still looks the same person, honestly. I don't see much of a change. Also, Eric Fichaud liked my tweet, and I felt very, my life is made. That's a throwback. Martinek. Yo, freaking. Man. He was so cool. He was so cool. But yeah. If we want to get into the Bardreau news, Bruce Bardreau. Vancouver. What the hell, Vancouver? I think Vancouver... sorry to take this into Islanders territory, but it's not that they did it. It's how they did it. Simple as that. We've been screaming that for years. But with Bruce, it breaks your heart. Just letting them know, hey, we're done with you and we're looking for a replacement. We just don't care about you as a coach. They literally just straight up told him, we don't give a shit about you. The Canucks organization literally kind of did that to Bruce. They did that to Boudreaux, sorry. I'm thinking freaking Cole Bardreau down in Bridgeport. It's not even his fault. No, it's not. It's not even his fault. I keep thinking, I always say Bardreau because of freaking Cole Bardreau, but Bruce, he's done what he could with this team. He's beloved by the fan base. Bruce, there it is. And then when you saw his interview of him knowing it was his last game, him getting emotional, god damn, it just breaks your heart. I'm so glad the Canucks fan base gave him so much love. Just with the Bruce there it is chants, giving him, the signs. I saw signs that say, we stand with Bruce, things like that. So many, so much love for him. And, he could see he was on the brink of tears at the end of the game. He was on brink of so many tears at the end of the game. You can tell he has such passion and love for what he does. And is taken away for something that's just, I don't think is completely his fault. That's just brutal. That was brutal to watch happen from an outside standpoint. I can't imagine being a Canucks fan right now. But that was brutal. And you know what? Honestly, with the new coach, you're setting them up to be hated. With the Canucks organization, you're setting your new coach up to be instantly hated by the fan base. Because he just, kind of bullshittingly got, replaced a beloved coach. You're instantly setting up your next coach to be hated. It's like Fleury and Leonard. A little bit. And we know how good Leonard was treated when he replaced Fleury. You're setting that up, and while I don't think the Canucks fan base really is angry, but here's the thing about the Canucks fans that's different from Vegas. They're not really angry. Was it Tochette was taking over? They're not really angry at the new coach. They're not angry at him replacing. They're angry at the right people. Their GM. They're angry at the right people. Their GM who did this in the first place. Who set up, Bruce to be screwed. Who literally ripped this man's heart out of his chest. They're right at the right person. They're mad at the right person. That's a difference. Tuckcat, thank you. Tuck it. I can't do names. You guys know I can't do names. I'm horrible at names. I always will be horrible at names. But they're mad at their GM. Which, rightfully so. Varlamov was hated a little bit when he signed here. We all loved Leonard. But we knew it wasn't Varlamov's fault. Varlamov didn't come here and say, I want to replace Leonard, and be the, better than him. He didn't do that. Lou didn't re-sign Leonard, and he signed Varlamov. Got Varlamov to hopefully bring Sorokin over. That's what happened. So, why the hell would we be mad at Varlamov? He was just doing his job, getting his contract in the NHL. It's a business. It's an ultimate decision by the GM. And I think that's what it should be focused on. There you go, DJ. Go. I don't know. Let's see. But I feel like that's the difference. That's the big difference here. But Canucks fans, if you guys don't know Canuck Clay, he's a streamer here on YouTube. He has a wonderful stream talking about everything Vancouver Canucks. He's a guy you definitely got to check out if you want more in-depth and more personal reaction to this Canucks news. I definitely suggest you go check out Canuck Clay, because he will definitely get more in-depth about it. I'm really curious about how the offseason goes. Me too. Because if it goes right, Lou will not be re-signed, and then we gotta look for a new GM. And that's where I get scared. Really scared. Because honestly, when we got rid of Garth Snow, we would have taken anybody. We would have just taken anybody. With Lou, I feel like we finally just want some more stability. Someone who will advocate for this team. It feels like Lou sometimes just doesn't advocate for this team. We want a GM who gives a shit. We want a GM that it feels like they give a shit. They give a shit about winning, they give a shit about the franchise, and they give a shit about this team becoming an actual Stanley Cup winning team. And that's something growing up for 23 years that I feel like I've never felt from a GM. I feel like I've never felt that from a general manager. That they just give a shit and advocate for this team. I gave Lou the benefit of my doubt. And it didn't work. Give me a GM that gives a shit. And wants to win. And cares about this franchise. That's all I want. When we're struggling for a goal scorer, and Lou doesn't even. We thought Lou was in the mix, actually trying to get these players, and you find out, they didn't even ask certain players for contracts. No, it's not gonna fly. You don't care. It tells me that you're like, whatever. I don't care. Empire State said this beautifully. He says, you know what? Lou served his purpose, brought us back to respectability. I agree with that. And we appreciate it. But next chapter is needed. We need to turn the page. And I absolutely agree there, Empire State. You know what? I agree with you there. He brought back respectability to this franchise. I really think he did. But now it's time to turn the page. Yeah, and that's, you know what, I'm gonna be kind of happy to see facial hair again. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna be so happy to see facial hair again on these boys. I like Palmieri's beard and everything. It's so weird, especially when Lou came in and everyone's shaved, and I'm like, I don't recognize them anymore. I remember I was like studying their pictures to know their faces when Lou initially came in, just to know who's whom. I was like, oh my god, I don't recognize their faces. Even like Scott Mayfield, where he had to cut off all of his flow. It was nuts. It's that Empire State's the last year. We're hoping it's the end. And Tom Spoil, I'm going to be doing some research about GMs that can possibly take over the Lou position. I might make a video about it, of, you know, who we might target in the offseason if, hope the gods, they do not resign him. If we resign Lou, the fan base might lose it. But there's also a problem, because Lou's son is the general manager of the Bridgeport Islanders. We worry about nepotism. And possibly Lou's son taking over the Islanders. Because that could be an actual real issue with this team. I think we just need a whole new name. I think we need a whole new clear slate. Do you think Clutterbuck is done? I've been saying this for a little bit, but I think Clutterbuck's at the end. Yes. I do think Clutterbuck's towards the end of his career. This might be it. Call him Fredo? Of course, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked they call him Fredo. Oh my god. Don't really know how much about him, but everything I hear about him is negative. Yeah, he's the reason they're not the Sound Tigers anymore, trying to do the big... He did like a fish sticks with the Bridgeport Islanders, where we had that kick-ass logo of the Sound Tigers, and he's changed them to the Bridgeport Islanders. Real genius move. I thought we had one of the most kick-ass logos in the AHL, and they destroyed that. Destroyed it. He pulled a fisherman. It's so bad. Bring back Sound Tigers. Bring back the Sound Tigers. If I was like GM of the Bridgeport Islanders, I would bring the Sound Tigers back. Like that. Like that. So they were called the Sound Tigers because basically they were named off of the Long Island Sound. Since Connecticut and Long Island are separated by the Long Island Sound, basically off of the Atlantic Ocean. There's a little bit of water north of Long Island, and between us and Connecticut is called the Long Island Sound. And so they brought in the Sound part, and then we're like the Tigers in a sense, and it's going the Sound Tigers. No, but Jordan, for some people who don't know of like the origin of why the Sound Tigers were called the Sound Tigers, there you go. And again, it brings a lot of geography and love for where we are in general. That's just why another reason I love the name. And they took that away too. And Bridgeport's not even an islander. Bridgeport is not even an island. Like, it's so much anger. Yeah, Joseph, it really is. Yeah, Empire, I don't think anyone was happy about the name change. I think everyone thought it was stupid as hell. It's awful. We want the Sound Tigers back. I love my Sound Tigers. I'm so glad I bought my Sound Tigers jersey before they changed everything. You know, it's part of the reason we hated the fish sticks logo. It took away everything New York about the New York Islanders logo. And the logo for the Bridgeport Islanders is pretty bad. It's a B in a circle. Ew. Yeah, not the greatest look. Not the greatest look. I still call them... Honestly, I slip and still call them the Sound Tigers too. You'll sometimes hear me slip and call them the Sound Tigers too. Even like Chris King has to call them. He just calls them the Baby Islanders now because this. I feel like he screws up too. Empire, they reached out a little bit ago, but they never answered. We never got like a date in mind. So I mean, if they reach out, we'll talk about it. It gets worse. The Bridgeport Goldhorn is a generic Islanders recreation. I mean, I'm not like so worried about their Goldhorn rather than like their logo and their presence. It looks like a lazy Bruins logo. Good point, Prince Chicken Wings. Good point. It really does. Eric says we suck. We're used to it. We're Islanders fans. If you were Islanders fans in the 2000s era, you're used to it. How are you getting tickets for the Montreal game? Eric, I'm going to with the New York Islanders Booster Club. They gave up. So I was supposed to go back in 2019 with the New York Islanders Booster Club, and 2 weeks before the Montreal game, COVID hit. I've been waiting for. Basically, the Montreal Canadiens have owed our Booster Club for 4 years, and this year they finally reached out to give us what we were owed, and that was our opportunity and tickets to go. And so the Booster Club got together. We're doing this trip again. It took 4 years later, and I'm finally and. For my first ever international travel, I'm so excited. Because we need 4 and they're expensive. But yeah, we had a flat rate via the New York Islanders Booster Club. And we have 50 of us going. We're going to be loud and we're going to be damn proud. 2008 to 2014, good times. Yeah, exactly, Joseph. Like, if you live those eras, you know. You know. You absolutely know if you live those eras. It's $320 for 4 of us. But that's what listen, Montreal is expensive as hell. I mean, they love their hockey up there just like the Maple Leafs. Hockey's they're everything up there. You're not going to find inexpensive seats. It's not going to happen. You're either going to bite the gambit and pay for the seats, or you're not gonna go at all. Like that's how it is up there. You're not gonna find a nice cheap. The only reason we got it, I guess, like a little bit cheaper is that we were working with the Canadians themselves. Well, Empire State, it's due to the new building. We're not in Brooklyn. We're, it's not close to, it's not the Cali. This is a brand new state-of-the-art arena, so they can upcharge, for pricing, rather than, like, what it was. They have to make money. Are restrictions over? Well, now you can cross the border without a negative COVID test. They took away the COVID testing for crossing the border so that we don't need a negative COVID test to cross the border anymore. I was a little kid when they won in the 80s. I've been with the Islanders since bad years, so I could use the Islanders therapy. Listen, Empire, and I love, that's what I'm talking about with maintaining the passion and love for this team. Is exactly that. Exactly that love and passion. If you've never been with them at the lows of lows, you can't appreciate and enjoy their highest of highs. Done. You will never experience what a true win is. The best games of Barclays where tickets were cheap. Oh yeah, Prince Chicken Wings. I remember getting two tickets for $12. I remember those days, and it was so chill because I was in college, so you don't have a lot of money. So I could get just really cheap seats. We just go to the games all the time, and it was super easy. It was car? I don't know what you mean by it was car. No, it was the car. Prince Chicken Wing says the best part of Barclays was the tickets were cheap, and he says no, it was the car. I mean, it was a basketball arena, so I mean, I guess that's usual in basketball arenas, that they have like a setup. They couldn't really move it. It's a big ass car. But yeah, that was fun. Things we don't miss. You can put it on the list of things we don't miss. Off-center scoreboard, places where you couldn't see, the car, a lot of things that I will never forget, guys. Ever forget. dealing with Barclays for 4 to 5 years, and then sitting for the first game back at Nassau Coliseum and hearing the crowd. And I turned to my friend Stephanie, and I said, holy crap, we got used to shit. This is a true hockey crowd. And I'll never forget that moment. Thomas Boyle with the 5. He says, great podcast, Kim. I appreciate it. Let's go Islanders. Thank you, Thomas, so much. I really do appreciate it. The commute, though. Oh, yeah, definitely don't miss the commute. And there's my little Leonard. Thank you, Thomas. Killed the 2019 playoff run. I feel like it may have had a hand in it, maybe. But even the loudest Barclay crowd couldn't even come close to the Nassau Coliseum. I just remember turning to her and saying, we got used to such shit. I forgot what it feels like to be in a true hockey crowd. I really did. And sitting in Nassau Coliseum listening to how a hockey crowd should sound was just unbelievable. Yeah, football. My Giants. I mean, I knew we weren't going to win. I knew the Giants weren't going to win against the Eagles. Like, I knew that was like, are you kidding me? But yeah, that was bad. The old barn rocked. It always rocked. I'll never forget feeling the vibrations underneath my feet. Nothing like it. It's just something I wish I could have passed down to my future kids. But I'm so happy to have UBS Arena, that we have a permanent home, and it's somewhere I'll be able to take them when I'm older. My favorite goal horn, no, I won't shut up about goal horns. My favorite goal horn, the New York Islanders goal horn. Of course. I think I actually made my favorite goal horn list on YouTube. I made like a, by the way, Seattle Kraken weren't a team when I made that video, but I think I did make my favorite goal horns video. I think it's still up. I think you can definitely see it. The barn stairs were scary. Yeah, I know. They were pretty steep. Obviously, the best goal horn, the Hawks. Well, I don't mind the Hawks' goal horn. Their goal song needs Chelsea's Dagger. For some reason, I don't like it. Not a big fan of Chelsea's Dagger. It feels like so, like, you have the big goal horn and it's like, da 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 da. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I just sang Howlin' for You. Again, I'm not a big fan of Howlin' for You for the Arizona Coyotes. But I'm not a big fan of the Howlin' for You for the Arizona Coyotes either. I don't know. But I feel like the same with those. If I was talking about goal songs, that's a whole different story. Jordan, that's all. No. Just personally, like, when I went to, Colorado, I liked their goal celebration. I did, and we lost that game too. I feel like it should be more fun. I didn't like the commute to Barclays. No one did. But yeah, no, Chelsea's Dagger was it just kind of was like, Coyotes changed their goal horn, by the way, because they had to. They had to. But I don't know, it's just like that little, clap beat. I don't know. Not the biggest fan of it. But again, here I am with crowd chant, and I don't know. You grow up with these chants, and you fall in love with the nostalgia and love for them. If I could never change it, I would never change anything with the Islanders' goal horn or song. So, but if I could bring it back, even though I know everything of the controversy surrounding the songwriter, I do miss the old Islanders goal song. Oh my god, I can't think of the beat right now. I'm losing my mind. Someone remind me. But I know why we don't use it anymore. Because, yeah, that guy was disgusting. The guy who wrote it is actually really disgusting. But we had Nickelback at one point. I know we had Nickelback to lead us into the games at one point. Oh, now I remember. Hey, that one. I enjoyed that one as a kid, I'm not even gonna lie, but of course, you know, they took it away because the songwriter is disgusting. In 2016, when they would just smash a soundboard. Yeah, Empire State, yeah. Do you remember that one? I remember that one as a kid because we used to go hey, you suck. Yeah, very much like the Devils do now. I hate the Mario noise. What? I love that. I love that particular. I love the Mario noise after we kill a penalty, and I think it's also beneficial to the guys in the ice knowing that the penalty is killed. I love the Mario noise. I thought it was so cute when I first heard it with Colorado, and I'm kind of glad we adopted it because I think it's adorable. Wow, you guys are negative Nancy's over here. Yeah, if you look up behind the songwriter of that song, yeah, he's disgusting. I like the Mario noise. Personally, I like the Mario noise. But again, it's all about opinions. All about opinions. But guys, any last minute questions before I end the stream? And have to get ready for work. Yeah. 12-hour all-nighter, baby. Ooh. And then I fall asleep and wake up for more possible pain tomorrow. That's an away game, right? I'm pretty sure we're away tomorrow. Yeah, in Toronto. We're away tomorrow in Toronto. You wouldn't trade Bailey for Trouba, would you? That's an interesting trade. A horrible defenseman for a horrible forward. I like the noise when I'm playing Mario. I like it when I'm playing hockey too, baby. I like it when I'm playing hockey too. But thank you guys so much for joining me for the Kim and the Crease podcast. Hopefully I won't rant as much next week. Hopefully we can have a little bit of happiness. But yeah, I don't know about that. But we're going to keep the positivity, keep your love up. And as always, give in the chat, let's go Islanders, let's go Maple Leafs, let's go Senators, let's go Sharks, let's go whatever your team is, because your teams would not be who they are without your passion and love for your team. Keep it up, keep your passion, no matter how they're doing in the rankings. Keep what you do, keep it happy. Hey, Mike, all good, GG's. All good about it. But again, I'll see you guys next Sunday, and then I'll have the 1 week oh my god, 1 week break, and we'll be back. So guys, thank you so much. See you next Sunday. Bye. And oh yeah, there's one more thing. Let's go Islanders.